Welcome everyone. This presentation focuses on our research plan to address the wicked problem, how to reduce household waste and increase sustainable consumption. It's been prepared by Team Global, made up of myself, Catherine, Khalid, Lewis and Leslie, as part of the Business Research Design course. For our research plan, we chose to focus on the reduction of plastic takeaway containers. Plastic is one of the most essential and convenient materials in modern society. Currently, plastic use is everywhere in daily life due to its flexibility, durability, and low cost compared to other material types. Continuous innovation has seen plastic production and consumption increase for many years, with an 8.7 year-on-year increase from 1.7 million tonnes in 1950 to 299 tonnes in 2013, with China accounting for nearly a quarter of total output. An average person in the developed world consumes approximately 100 kilograms of plastic each year. Whilst plastic is a recyclable material, globally between 22 and 43% of plastic waste is disposed of in landfills, where the resources it contains are wasted. It is estimated that 8% of global crude oil production is used to manufacture plastics, and nearly half of the annual plastics manufactured are used for the creation of single-use or disposable items. Around 60% of the worldwide plastic waste comes from disposable packaging or other short-life items that are discarded within a year of production. Plastics also contain dangerous chemicals that go into the plastics during the manufacturing process. These chemicals can have an extremely harmful effect on humans and the environment. Following the double diamond method to discover, define, develop and deliver, as part of our design thinking process, we aim to find a desirable solution for our wicked problem. We've gone through a structured process of discovering information through research to gain insight on negative impacts of plastic on the environment and human health. We research where most plastic waste comes from, what plastic is made of, and its waste recycling and dumping issues. This phase helped us to define why the situation is the way it is, and we discovered that around 60% of worldwide plastic waste comes from disposable packaging. Disposable food packaging is widespread in many industries, but plastic takeaway containers are an especially popular choice in the service food sectors due to them being lightweight, flexible, hygienic, and low cost. As a result, we decided to focus on single-use or disposable packaging, such as plastic takeaway containers. So during the define phase, we conducted more interviews and surveys with target food outlet operators and consumers to gain an insight into how they feel about plastic waste, whether they would be interested in plastic alternative solutions, and whether they've tried any in the past. We came up with many great ideas which we brainstormed during our Skype meetings. We based these on cost, feasibility and difficulty of implementation. From there, we decided to tackle our team's aspect of the wicked problem by working alongside with businesses in the food industry to supply them with environmentally friendly takeaway packaging solutions in order to reduce unnecessary plastic consumption. Our BMC was populated based on this solution. If we now take a look at our initial BMC, our key goal was to deliver affordable and sustainable packaging products. We aim to create partnerships with Australian businesses within the food sector, as well as the government and environmental agencies. Initially, we're aware that the cost of infrastructure and manufacturing will be high, but we're hoping with time to create economies of scale and a loyal customer base through educational campaigns to offset these costs. When researching possible solutions, we're looking for a renewable material to create sustainable packaging that provides value to both businesses and their customers. The three most important factors for our final packaging are, firstly, product performance. It needs to protect the food from its surroundings, maintain the products and prevent deterioration, and also communicate to the customer on a commercial and legal level. Secondly, manufacturing and the processes involved are important factors to take into account, and this links to the third point of cost. It is clear that currently the cost of renewable materials are higher, and as a result, many Australian businesses continue to use plastic containers. We hope that through our educational programs and partnerships, that any initial price increase will be justified in the minds of consumers. Through researching many benefits and negatives of a variety of natural materials, we found that starch from corn, bamboo and mycelium found in mushroom roots were three possible alternatives for packaging prototypes. The main benefits of using starch, for example, derived from the kernel of corn, is that it's quick to grow, relatively low maintenance in terms of production, and corn crops can grow in many different climates. The extraction of starch itself from the kernel is straightforward, which will also help to keep the production cost low. However, whilst it is very biodegradable, and has an inherently low cost, it is also very hydrophilic, which means it has a poor moisture barrier. Because of this, through production, it is common to add synthetic materials to the starch, which decreases its environmental benefits. Bamboo, our second alternative, is native to China and one of the fastest growing plants in the world, which therefore makes it easily renewable. Comparing to its wood pulp counterpart, bamboo is lighter, water resistant, cheaper, and more importantly has 3 times the strength of wood. In terms of resources, bamboo requires little maintenance over time, as the older plants actually grow faster. Whilst they thrive in warmer climates, bamboo is grown around the world and is extremely sustainable to produce and maintain. However, as production is not yet popular worldwide, it can have increased costs. The third alternative, mycelium, found in the root of mushrooms, is self-assembling and a natural material. The benefits of it in terms of packaging is that it can create insulating, fire-resistant, moisture-resistant, vapor-resistant, and impact-resistant packaging. Being made from crop waste and therefore compostable in every consumer's backyard makes it a highly sustainable resource. In terms of cost, the mycelium organism is low cost to grow and produce, as it is essentially agricultural waste and can be grown worldwide. The extraction of mycelium from mushroom roots at the moment is a very new process. Therefore, there is not as many manufacturing options available, which can increase cost for production. Based on further investigations and research, we've updated and refined our BMC through 3 important iterations, with each a better reflection of the aim and purpose of our project. In our second iteration, the key addition was education as a key activity of our business. It became clear that without this aspect, it may be difficult for our business idea to expand beyond a smaller niche market of already sustainable thinking clients. Through educational programs, we believe that we can convert sustainable practice into the mainstream, ensuring a lower impact on the environment compared with plastic and also a profitable business idea. We also expanded the scope of our customer segmentation. Our aim will be to connect the end users of our products and our business partners to provide discounts and special offers through our customer channel web interface. This will provide a value add for both end users and partner businesses. The aim of this is to further encourage sustainable activity within the communities in which we operate. When we compared starch, mycelium and bamboo as possible packaging options, we found that the most viable solution was in fact bamboo. Currently, computer manufacturer Dell ships 70% of notebooks in bamboo-based packaging, as its structural strength makes it great for shipping. Due to its flexible yet strong nature, bamboo is an easy production input to work with. Our bamboo packaging solution will need to address 2 aspects in terms of its implementation, and they are connecting and engaging with both businesses in the food sector and customers. Once a successful level of communication is achieved, it will help us to have a greater understanding in terms of why businesses are not using sustainable products currently, as well as allow us to gain an understanding of our customers' decision-making process. This led us to the final iteration of our BMC and our updated value proposition. The principal change being our focus solely on bamboo-based sustainable packaging options. As such, our aim is to deliver affordable and sustainable packaging products to businesses within the food sector in Australia. We will also help them to adopt and implement ecological bamboo-based packaging in their day-to-day business operations in an educator role. The foundations for the updated iteration of our BMC are certain assumptions on the current Australian business paradigm. These assumptions are fundamental and lay the base of our BMC through the current societal situation and Australian business conditions. I will briefly highlight those assumptions which we consider to be the most important to our business idea and our BMC. When it comes to our value proposition, we assume that, firstly, environmentally friendly packaging solutions such as bamboo-based packaging already exist and are affordable for businesses. Secondly, the food sector will adopt these solutions in the interest of sustainability. That is, with an adequate education, businesses will adopt green, environmentally friendly measures. Our third assumption is that consumers will accept a higher price of food if there is a sustainable environmental benefit, although with economies of scale, the cost difference between plastic and sustainable bamboo-based options should be minimal. With our customer relationships, we assume that cafes, restaurant and fast food outlets are largely unaware that there are viable options out there for their takeaway packaging solutions and need to be informed. When it comes to customer segments, we assume that the end user engagement will help push these sectors into changing their packaging solutions to bamboo-based sustainable options. It is also assumed that connecting relevant partner businesses to end users through an engagement platform will further increase the market for sustainable options. So we believe that these assumptions underpin our business idea and our business model canvas and will therefore be the key to making it a profitable success. From the key assumptions taken from our final iteration of our BMC, it's evident that the most prominent research question to be answered is what measures need to be implemented to create a more commercially viable takeaway packaging solution using a bamboo-based composite. This therefore leads to our underlying hypothesis, which is higher costs of a viable product and an unaware consumer base are key measures that need to be addressed for our business model to succeed. There are other questions based on technological feasibility and financial capitalisation of the business. However, collaborating with our customers is part of our core strategy and aligns with the underlying design thinking approach, which reflects our primary research question. Our research design approach involves both an explanatory and predictive method in order to answer our research question. This is guided by an objectivist ontology, epistemology based on positivism, deductive methodology using quantitative methods. Now, if that's not a mouthful to pronounce, I don't know what is. But essentially, our objective is to uncover further information about our target food outlet consumers and their customers, mass market consumers. So we'll conduct a series of experiments on different food outlets in order to gain a representative sample of the overall market. We will also collect information via surveys and interviews, where a person will be based at each outlet to interview and survey as many people as possible, and also to hand out a leaflet where consumers can do an online survey in their own time if they choose. The quantitative data gathered will be collated to identify possible trends in consumer behaviour and opportunities to take into our educational arm of the business model. The experiments will be conducted on a sample of food outlets within 3 sectors of the takeaway food industry: fast food, casual dining, and cafes. We'll aim to target at least 5 establishments within each division where we will supply at no charge sustainable packaging substitutes for their current packaging needs. We will then put in place a system where customers will be offered to use sustainable packaging at the point of sale for free or at an extra cost to their takeaway purchase. Either way, they will be made aware that there is a more sustainable option for their packaging, and they will be called on to make a decision. Of the outlets that agree to take part, a selection will have no charge, a selection will have a small surcharge, and another selection will have a higher surcharge. We will also have a refund collection scheme available at each outlet where consumers can discard their packaging with the knowledge that it will be disposed of in the right environment for the products to decompose within the target 7 to 90 days. Some will have no incentive for return, some will have a return incentive price, and some will have a higher return price relative to the original sale price of packaging. The data collected will be based on questions directed at answering our research question. There will be a 2-week pilot testing program to test the questionnaire and experiment script before we roll out the experiment for the full 3 months. To ensure internal validity is achieved, it will be important to ensure customers are not aware that they are part of an experiment during the testing process, because this might alter their answers. Also, consistency in delivering the scripted choice to the packaging sale is important, or there may be a variance in data. If these threats can be controlled, strong external data validation will be achieved given the natural setting environment. Data analysis is visually captured here, which shows the flow of information from consumers and takeaway food outlets back into our business model using the methodology outlined. In answering the research question and proving or disproving the hypothesis, this will help us define the exact measures we need to focus on as a supplier to get better cut through on a final iteration of a deliverable product. Whilst development of the product will be in the hands of the manufacturers, the data we collect will be useful to understand what the market will respond to in terms of the price point and can be fed back accordingly to help with the technological development. The awareness results help us develop the right customer engagement and education programs, given the shortfalls detected amongst the samples collected. In relation to our design thinking approach, we are working in the defined space of the process. The data will then shape the development phase, where we can more specifically design our business strategies. This might involve lobbying governments to get cost reduction assistance. It might be working on social media forums, groups, to get further awareness on how bad the problem actually is, or it might be doing further experiments. Ultimately, the data we collect will give us a better knowledge of where to focus our resources for the next stage of the process. At the end of our research, we anticipate that consumers will start to rethink their choice of plastic packaging and will be happy to pay extra for alternative, sustainable packaging options. We also think that consumer engagement and educational campaigns will create demand for a bamboo-based packaging solution as a sustainable alternative to plastic. And finally, we anticipate that manufacturers of sustainable packaging solutions could gain government support and subsidies for their plastic reduction initiatives, which would allow bamboo-based packaging to become more affordable in the future. Thanks for watching, and the references we use for our research are on the following slides.